Come on up, Bob. Oh, look, there he is. Did his
Hi,
hair and
guys.
everything.
Hi, everybody. I did, Aaron, just for you. Just for you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Welcome, everyone. I have a quick question before we get started. How many folks have a written down, codified sales and marketing strategy? Throw it in the chat there if you have a written down, codified sales and marketing strategy. Real curious. I want to see how many folks have one, and I would love to learn from you. Hey, Sean Mooney, good to see you. We're going to get right into this. One of the things that I want us to stress, today, is that sales is the new marketing. 2020 could be called the year that marketing changed forever. In fact, you might have heard that phrase thrown around before, that's exactly what happened in 2020. Digital technology, everything accelerated on the technology side. We know that with e-commerce. Studies showed that e-commerce accelerated by 10 years. So marketing has changed forever. The other distinction is that marketing is now sales. So these worlds have amalgamated. They've turned into each other where the distinctions aren't near as clear. But not only that, in a way, we wrote an article about this, that marketing in a sense is greater than sales. And I don't mean personalities or people, no one get offended. But the weight that we shifted in the old world towards sales, salespeople, and sales development now has to be given towards sales process, marketing tools, and marketing people as well. So the industry has seen this shift happen. And I want to show you with a couple of studies what's transpired just in the B2B world at large. 2019, obviously, this is the way your client's world looked like. It looked like meetings. It looked like other human beings in the same room. 2020, new colleagues. Everyone's behind walls and behind screens. Now, this has been happening for a long time. The larger the organizations, the more they've hidden behind screens and walls. Interesting thing is, marketing technology now, the very tools that allow people to hide are the same tools that allow us to find. The question for you is, does this moving forward represent, is it a limitation or an opportunity? So that's the question for you and your team. It's all about perspective. In fact, studies are showing that it's actually been more profitable for B2B and selling over the past year in the sense of the interaction that we're having with clients. It's richer, it's deeper, it's more meaningful, and also it's more purpose-driven. In fact, 90% of our interaction now with clients is happening within screens. Some studies are showing that by 2025, 80% of the buying will be through digital processes, whether that's through a screen, through people talking to people, or through digital tools altogether. They call this the B2B inflection point. B2B companies, this is what's staggering about it, is that B2B companies see digital interaction as 2 to 3 times more important to their customers than traditional sales interactions. In fact, over half of respondents in one survey said that they find this digital world that we're selling through screens and things like Zoom, is actually more effective than the way it used to be. It's more efficient, for sure. So again, do you see the world ahead as a limitation, or do you see it as an opportunity? Because it's a matter of perspective. It's a matter of shifting our focus. Now, first, I need to apologize on behalf of marketers everywhere, from our SEOs to our CTAs, to our WOMs, to our CMS, to our ABMs, to our CRMs, to our PPCs, to the mind-numbing AIDA, attention, interest, desire, whatever the hell A means. We have made things absolutely confusing out there. So if you're confused, don't worry. I think the way we can simplify things, though, is to rename them within your own organization. Today, I'm going to be talking about 2 tools, 2 resources. One is ABM, the most boring acronym you can think of, called account-based marketing. The other is CRM, right? Our client relationship management tools. Think of it this way. An ABM, or our account-based marketing, is really a customer-obsessed mindset. We're not talking about tools. We're talking about shifting our focus with how we think and how we use our tools. It's a huge difference in perspective. And a CRM is all about intelligent insight. It's what you put into the system and what you get out of the system. And they're going to be vital moving forward. In fact, I'll just throw a new one at you. Here's a new acronym for you, COS. What is your client-obsessed strategy? And my question goes back to you that I asked at the beginning. Do you have a codified, written down sales strategy? And do you have a codified, written down marketing strategy? And how do those integrate and complement one another? How do those integrate and complement one another? If you have one, I would love to interview you and talk with you about that further. Meaning all of us have strategy, but often keep it in our heads and our minds. Here's why now is the time for digital tools, CRM, ABM, all these things that I'm talking about. Here's why these things that have been existing for a long time, like AI, for example, have now accelerated. It's because of the new digital world. Number one, for our industry only, this isn't talking about B2B at large, our client projects have gotten more complex. This is why now is the time for things like CRM. Number two, sales is increasingly no longer driven by a top personality in your company, but by teams. There are more hands involved in the selling process than ever before. So I've been saying this is the democratization of sales teams, and that's exactly what's happened. And when you have more people working with the client, you have more data. When you have more data, you need to share that data. That's why CRM has become important. In fact, for those that may not know, for years, I ran a distributorship, and we were around 10 million in sales. We focused on shops and stores, and we implemented probably 4 or 5 different CRMs, from Basecamp to HubSpot to whatever. And as I look back now, as my job is to interview entrepreneurs like you, I look back and realize that those tools were kind of premature. They were powerful, they were very important, but they were premature. Now is the time, because now all the digital acceleration has happened. Buyers are buying through screens. They're using tech tools. They're being influenced through marketing. Now's the time for these tools and resources. So if you've closed the chapter on CRM or something like it before, I'm not here to sell you CRM. I don't work for HubSpot. Now's the time for you to activate these tools. I want you to have a more cohesive sales and marketing strategy, because you will be shocked at how well you can grow widely with clients and the new markets that you can get into. Number 3, the other reason why now is the time is digital overload. You are bombarded by a barrage of details back and forth with the clients. You need to centralize that communication and all of that research. Gartner had a great study called The Future of Sales about transformational strategies for B2B sales organizations. And we're not going to talk about all of these, but there are a couple of things I want to point out. And again, this is affecting B2B at large, not just our industry, but it's definitely impacting our industry. One of the most interesting insights to me was that sales leaders, for those folks that are leading sales teams that are on this webinar, you're going to be leaders of selling and the selling process in the future, not just leaders of sellers. There's a big distinction. I have watched with admiration as Sam Cates, our vice president of sales, has interacted with Kate and worked with our marketing team, because it's a very symbiotic relationship that they have to work well together. But in this study that they revealed, the future of sales leaders, there was, number 1, you have to be ready to engage the everyday customer. Number 2, position sales to facilitate complex buying decisions. We're going to park that for a minute, but the big thing we need to focus on is number 3. We as sales leaders need to increase digital skill sets in the sales organization. And number 2, we need to build a future forward sales technology roadmap. Vital for our sales future. Absolutely vital for our sales future. The future of B2B sales looks like this. There's a boring chart for you, but here's the important part I want to point out. Used to be, it was all about people. The future of sales now is people, process, and technology. And the question for you and your organization is, where does that fit? Because the future of sales is about those 3. If you were to look at these 3 circles 5 years ago, you would have seen the people circle much bigger than the other 2. But now you're seeing this democratization of all of these aspects. 60% of B2B sales organizations will transition from experience and intuition-based selling to data-driven selling, merging their sales process, applications, data, and analytics into a single operational practice. We had folks that walked around with all the client information in their heads. There is no way you can enter the world successfully into 2021 and beyond with all that data in your head, particularly the complexity of the clients that have grown, the complexity of your own team that has grown, and that information. That's why these things are vitally important. There was a mention in this last slide that I talked about AI, and we interviewed Paul Raitzer, a friend of mine who heads up the AI Institute for Marketing. And it's a phenomenal episode. I encourage you to check it out. Allie's going to share that here in the chat, but you can check that out later. The other thing I was mentioned earlier was account-based marketing. And we wrote an article once called "The Only Marketing Strategy You Need to Supercharge Your Sales." And it was so vital, but it kind of slipped under the radar to everybody. It was kind of a yawner, but it was so important. I titled it "The Only Marketing Strategy You Need to Supercharge Your Sales" because I wasn't being hyperbolic. It is that. And here's why I know. One of the most respected distributors in the industry that I talked with, he said, "Hey," I talked about it on a podcast, and he said, "I heard you talk about ABM on SKUcast. We consider it our secret weapon, and I don't think our competitors know about it. If they do know about it, they don't actually do it. What Kate's about to talk with you about with CRM is a vital component of this. And really what that is about having a client-obsessed strategy. Terminus put out this report and they ask, do you have B2B sellers? Do you have an account-based approach to customer marketing, retention, or expansion? In 2019, only 14% did. In 2020, 61% did. Again, all of these digital tools are coming to fruition. It's vitally important for us to do this. Last thing too, this is how sales and marketing used to be. The inbound marketing funnel looked like awareness, interest, consideration, and conversion. And the way it looks now moving forward is identification, engagement, conversion, expansion. Now I realize we have a very limited time frame here today, so there's a few topics like this that we're going to expand more in the future. So we're going to have more podcasts about it. We're going to have more articles. This is a topic we're not going to let go. I just wanted you to know in case you look at this and say, I need more information. We're going to get more information to you. How to make marketing the new sales with CRM. This is the key. What's your cause? What's your client obsessed strategy? Number one, leaders, you have to prioritize it. You have to make learning it important. You have to treat it like your new sales training, because that's exactly what it is. The marketing tech forward companies are going to be the winners moving forward. Teams, folks that are listening to this, use it. Enter the data. That's how we progress. That's how we have this transparency that we build around, so we know what's going on. The winners of the future are going to move faster. They're going to think more complex for their clients. They're going to be research heavy. They're going to know more, and all of that's vital. In fact, Winston's going to share at the end of our day today. Winston Lowe with Creative Boulevard is going to share how they were kind of using commonsku for their purchase orders and things like that, but they hadn't really dug in deep and used the majority of the system, where he's going to talk about what they did to actually advance their cause and to open up transparency and to grow their pipeline by using more of these aspects we're talking about today. So use it. It moves the needle on sales. Action steps, and then I'm going to leave. Number one, review and simplify your sales process. Does it work in the new world we live in, and how do we need to adjust it? That's action step number one. It's time to review those things. Number two, what tools do you need now, like HubSpot, to rise to the challenge of the new buying reality? And number three, what's our future client obsessed strategy? How does tech like CRM fit into our workflow? Those are the three action steps I encourage you to take. And thanks for joining us for commonsku University. Plus, I'll still be around as we, through the shops conversation and later at the end of the day.
Hey, Bobby.
Hi, Kate. And
job.
Folks, thank you, Kate. Kate Masewich, our Director of Marketing, is going to take it from here to actually get into the details about it. So, Kate.
Hi, everyone. I like that the customer success team all wore the same commonsku outfit, and marketing is wearing all black. I like our vibes there. Hello, everyone. All right. So, as Bobby was saying, the importance of a marketing and sales strategy right now are more important than ever. So what I'm going to do is build on that primer on why and how you can use some tools to create streamlined sales and marketing machines, specifically using commonsku CRM and new marketing integrations with Mailchimp and HubSpot. Today, I'm also going to review the difference between CRM and marketing automation and how these integrations work together, and the 3 ways you can use them to increase your sales. But first, what I'd like to do is start off with a poll. I'd want to kick things off just by having you let me know which tools you're using right now, if any. So are you using marketing automation software? Are you using Mailchimp, HubSpot? If you're using something else, hit the polls and let me know. Just going to pop over and check. Okay, so pretty evenly split between HubSpot and Mailchimp. Not surprising. We've actually used both Mailchimp and HubSpot here at commonsku. So for those of you who use something else or you don't use anything at the moment, we'll go over the difference between the two of those and give you an opportunity to learn more a little later. So we'll start with a little refresher on the difference between the two, CRM and marketing automation, how they work together, and why you need both. So CRM primarily is a sales tool. It's focused on collecting data about existing and new customers and tracking new opportunities. You need to create company profiles. You can create company profiles, add notes, calls, and meetings, set reminders for follow-ups, and keep a history of all your activity. You can also status and or tag your client information, which allows you to keep your sales funnel super organized. Marketing automation, on the other hand, focuses on new lead generation and top of the funnel management. helps you market across various channels, and saves you time by allowing multi-touchpoint campaigns. Marketing automation tools allow you to support your sales team by scheduling automated activities and customizing the messaging based on individual interactions. The difference between the two are really what makes them super valuable to your sales and marketing team. Together, you can expect increased leads and deal velocity, reduce sales cycles, improve visibility into your pipeline, and more accurate sales forecasting. If your sales and marketing teams aren't aligned, these tools will not be as effective. So this is what your funnel should look like. And as Bobby went over, the account-based marketing funnel is kind of the flipped version of this, but this is how these two tools work together. So marketing automation handles the top of your funnel and CRM handles the bottom. Having your marketing automation linked to your CRM means that all of your lead information will be in one place. It's easy for your sales and marketing teams to edit and manage, and ultimately they'll align your sales and marketing teams. To move the leads down the funnel, you can leverage these tools available in your marketing automation platform to automate your pipeline and your communications. So when an automated pipeline is created and used correctly, your leads can move effortlessly through the funnel and the whole team is in the loop about what's happening. When communication is automated, follow-up can continue for days, weeks, months, and the sales team doesn't have to rely on memory and notes to help move your client to the next stage. These tools help keep every lead and client and allow your sales team to evaluate where the lead stands in your pipeline and recall what kind of action needs to come next. As a distributor, there are many ways that you can use these tools to create a dream sales and marketing team. So these are 3 examples that we're going to cover that'll help you execute them using commonsku. So the first and probably the foundation of marketing automation is email campaigns. Campaigns can be customized and targeted based on your goals. You can build campaigns around a list of clients and leads, segment that list based on specific conditions. And since these contacts have opted in to receive communications from you, you can easily incorporate sales messaging. So I've prepared a little use case here. And using this example, what we've done is we've created a campaign using a shop. So what you can do in using these tools is create a segmented list of either your contacts, your current customers, or prospective leads. You can create a shop, like a marketing shop would be a perfect example. You can email that shop out and then check that activity inside commonsku and then be able to evaluate what your next steps would be. So your sales team can see the activity and whether there are shops checkouts. If there have been, congratulations, your campaign was a success. If there haven't been, then you can evaluate what to do next. Another great tip for shops is that commonsku marketing in your collections tab, we often create themed shops. So there was a holiday one, we just released a trending products one, and you can actually take that collection and convert that into a shop easily and then send that out as a marketing shop as well. Perfect example of an email campaign. Another way you can use marketing automation is to create workflows that trigger emails to your clients and leads based on their contact details from commonsku, like their industry, their statuses, and their tags. So in this example, we're going to create a workflow using a status. So what you can do is you can create a list of contacts using a tag like industry or statuses. So statuses are great for identifying the place in the funnel which they lie, and then it helps you move them down towards becoming a customer. So for example, you can use the tag good fit as a way to status your leads that you've identified as potential customers. Then you can select certain activities to warm them up. So in this example, what we've done is created a list of good fit contacts and then put them into an email workflow to send them a series of emails. So in this case, we'll send them the first email, wait a week, send them a second email, wait a week, send them the third email. If they reach the end of the workflow and they haven't engaged with you, you can status them as cold leads and then create another set of follow-ups for after that. If they respond to your emails at any point, then you can status them as a hot lead and then you can move them out of that workflow and ready for a follow-up with your sales team. The last activity that we'll cover is viewing your campaign activity. So you're creating all these newsletters and email campaigns and workflows, and all of that activity is actually recorded and it's super duper valuable. So one of the most important aspects of this and our integrations with Mailchimp and HubSpot is that this campaign activity will be recorded inside commonsku. So it prevents your sales team from having to go into Mailchimp and HubSpot to track down that information about their clients and leads. It'll give your sales team insights into what else that they can do to nudge their prospects along, and it'll allow your marketing teams to build content that address any gaps. So for our last use case, I've used a webinar campaign. Webinars have become such a great way to connect with your clients in a virtual world. So using this webinar campaign as an example, same thing, create your list. That's always where you start with these, is segmenting your contacts. The first blast will go out, having them sign up for the webinar. Then you host the webinar, and then you can do kind of an if-then branch. So if they attend the webinar, then send them the recording, status them as interested. If they don't attend the webinar, send them an email that says, sorry, we missed you, and then you can go from there. So since our integrations launched with Mailchimp and HubSpot, we've been getting a lot of questions like, what's the difference? Which one should I use? And the answer to that is that they're both really excellent platforms, which is why we chose them to integrate with. But what I will do is just go over some of the key differences between the two. They both have the same key marketing features. So they both have contact management, automation, social media management, landing pages, and forms. The differences really become more apparent the more advanced you'd like to get. So while HubSpot offers more advanced features, they come at a higher price, whereas Mailchimp is an excellent starting point as it's less expensive. But it's really based on your team structure and how advanced you want your sales and marketing to get. So I would just say Mailchimp is a great starting point for smaller sales and marketing teams that are taking on bigger tasks themselves, because they offer lots of templates that are not as customizable, but great starting points. And then they offer basic automation functions and templates for that as well. HubSpot, on the other hand, allows you to get super duper advanced into the not only the templates and the workflows that you're creating, but also the segmentation of these contacts. And now connecting your Mailchimp and HubSpot accounts. If you have existing accounts and you haven't connected them already, what are you waiting for? You can head over to the Learn portal and get those connected. There's a little help article for you there. If you don't use Mailchimp or HubSpot right now, but you're interested in doing so, then what you can do is just reach out to our support team and they'll connect you with our partner contacts. So we've got contacts at both Mailchimp and HubSpot to help you out there. All right, so now we're finished a little early, but it's time for our first breakouts. They're going to start at 2:30 and 2:35, sorry, and we've got 3 sessions for you to choose from. We've got 3 distributor sessions and 1 supplier session. So if you click on the sessions tab at 2:35, you'll see all of the sessions available. You can click on the one that you want to attend and enjoy. If you miss any of the sessions or you're worried about not seeing any one of them, we will be recording, as Aaron said in the opening remarks, and we'll share them with you afterwards. After the breakups wrap up, just head back to the main stage here for the next session. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.